default, it gets you VHD. Okay. Now, and once you get your VHD, it also defaulted to fixed size. Now, why with the VHD they give you a default fixed size? Because the fixed size, like we talked about, it's better for performance. Remember that? It doesn't have the overhead of expanding, shrinking, and expanding the volume. It's to put dynamic. So always they associate the VHD by default goes to fixed size. Fixed size means what? If you allocate like a 60 gig, you get 60 gig. If you use 10 gig or 2 gig out of it, that's it. It's reverse as it will reserve as 60 gig. And some people say, well, that's not good because if I don't use the whole partition, I'm wasting a lot of space, especially when it comes to virtualization. So when I'm not using 2008, I'm using 2019 actually on this one here. So what happened if I select this guy here? And of course, over here, they support virtual disk up to 2 terabyte. Okay, this is a 2040 gig, which is 2 terabytes. Now, this one is 64 terabyte, the VHDX. If you select VHDX, and that's what's some kind of documentation about VHDX support virtual disk larger than the VHD, maximum 64, and is resilient to power failure events. And this format is not supported in operating system earlier than 8, like Windows 8 or Windows 12. So in order to use VHDX, you have to have like supported operating system. And notice what happened. When you select this one here, the VHDX, guess what happened? It defaulted back to dynamic. Because you remember that we said earlier on a VHD, dynamic is slow, it's not good for performance. But with the new technology, with the new operating system, actually they recommend to use dynamic, and they don't have that problem in performance. And that's what they say. Dynamically, the virtual hard disk file grows to its maximum size. Maximum size means whatever I put right here. So that's what you need to understand. So I'm going to go browse, and I can make this one. I can select one of these. Let's select what's on E. E is what? E right here. It's 488. That's good. So I'll select E, and then I need to create a folder first before I do that. So let me go to E first. Let me go to E, which is right here. Where's E? E, right here. I'm gonna create a folder, so I don't want to have stuff all over the place. And I'm gonna call them disks, or disk, or whatever, virtual disk, whatever you name it. This sounds like short. Now I can go to action and create VHD. And I'm gonna select this one here. I want to browse, and I want to call it E, volume E. This is the disk. And what we're gonna call it? I'm gonna call it user data. UData. We're gonna call it user data. And we're gonna save it. Okay, so disk user data, and need to put the size. So this one is 488. So I'm going to choose 1 TB. So this is 1 TB. And say OK. So now, as you can see, it create my disk 3, which is 1 TB. So if I go right click, now notice this one is unknown, so you need to initialize it first. So you go and initialize the disk, and you can do GPT, which is give it partition table, and you say OK. And now this is my disk and allocate it. And from here, you can treat it like any other drive. You can create simple volume, you format it, and you do whatever you want from here. So you go next. Yes, you go next. Now, if you want to select few size, not the whole thing, you can. So if you want to do the whole 1 TB, you can too. And this is we'll call it user data. So I'm going to put U for user data, and we're going to select it. Go next. Okay, over here they're going to ask you what filing system you want to use. So I'm going to use. You can have an options here. FAT, exFAT, NTFS, resilient, whatever. So we'll put FAT, whatever you choose, that's fine. And over here, perform a quick format. And also, if you want to make it compression, you can check this box. But at this point, I just want to make it simple and finish. So now we have a drive U, which is for user data. And I can store information in here in the user data. So now you can create a file in here. You can go and create files in there. So like a text file or whatever, or you can generate files. And it's usually small. So these files are going to grow and grow and grow. So if you go to this one here, let's see, and you go to U, okay. Okay, so it's empty. So let's see. I think it's supposed to give me U data. Let's see. I did that earlier with this one, virtual disk. Yeah. So I put disk, right? Where's my disk? Oh, sorry, not U. The disk's data is on E right here. If I go to E, not U, E. And that's my disks, okay? And if you click on it, that's my U data. Follow? So that's what it is. Now, if you go right here, you right click on it, you can detach it because this is like a file. You can move it and put them anywhere you want. See, that give you the path for it, which is on E disk/data. Okay. So now I detach it. If you want to attach it back, you go Action, Attach, Browse, U data. I think okay. I brought it back right here. So this is how you create it on GUI. So if you want, you can do also. You can create it in what do you call it? PowerShell. So what I did, I gather some commands that you can do in PowerShell. So if I minimize this screen right here, I put them on a desktop. Let's see. Yep, right here. So let me see. Right click. I'm supposed to get an edit. So to create a virtual disk, for example, create a new dynamic disk. And this is where you have the path, for example, whatever drive you want. In our case, V, we call it E, right? So put E right here instead of V. And I'm going to call the virtual disk, I'm going to call it, like, for example, data 2 or data 3 or 4, whatever, because I already, I can keep it like it is because it's not, it doesn't have that name anyway over there. And over here, you can put size in bytes, and you put the how much you want, and also do you want fixed or dynamic? Okay. So if I run just command, just this, okay, what's going to happen? So if you go to the cursor right here and you highlight it, and you go over here to this one here and you click on it, run it. Okay, so now it created a file for me. Actually, not file, a virtual disk called data3 VHDX on partition or volume E. So let's see what happened. I go back to my disk management and see what happened. Did you create that file? Oh, which is, where's E? Well, it created, but I need to initialize it. So that's what the next one is for. We need to mount it because you don't see it. So we need to mount it. Mount it means what? Because it's a file, so I need to mount it. So replace E. Still this one the same information. So if I put the cursor right here, you can do the cursor right here to select it, or you can select it. Then you do, and you can mount it. So now let's see. It's supposed to, once you mount it, you're supposed to see it with disk management, I believe. You see, and I'll give you a disk 4, okay? So it's very important to know a disk 4, and you want to do GPT, so you can do GPT, and you say, okay. So if you go down, and that's your basic disk. And this is where you can do, on the second command, you can initialize the disk. It's already initialized. And is a say I already initialized it. If I don't initialize it, I can do this command right here. It does everything I want to do for that. So you can initialize the disk. The number is 4, not 5. So you go change it to 4. Now, if you don't know the number, you can do what? Git disk command. And this is a new partition. You can do partition volume, NTFS, which is not partitioned yet. So let's see if they do that. Okay, they give me an error because it's already initialized. This is already initialized, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So let's go back to, what do you call it? Disk management. Right here. And let's go see what happened to that. So it's unallocated. So if I take initialize this. Okay, so let's do another one. But this time we need to initialize. Well, what we need to do, get what do you call it? Get the number. So if I go back to disk management, why is this screen right here? Go to disk management right here, action, create VHD. We need to VHDX. We need to create browse. Where are we gonna put it? On E. Gonna put it on disk, I believe. Yes, disk. This time we're gonna give it different name. We're gonna give it user data 5. User data 5. When I give another size, we can do 1 terabyte again. Even though we don't have 1 terabyte, but this is how the maximum they can expand. Okay, 1. And we're gonna select VHDX and voila. And say okay. Now, this is why we did it like with the virtual disk. We should have done it with the PowerShell, which is okay. Well, let's see. Disk management again. So this is 5, disk 5. So if I cancel it, and I'm gonna run that command I run earlier on the PowerShell to initialize it. So I changed the number from 4 because it was 4. This one is 5. Now, of course, you can do it with GUI and you can do it with PowerShell. So there we go. Let's see if this is going to work this time. Now, GPT, da, 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 da. Okay. Assign drive letter, format volume on TFS. Okay, so let's see if that works. 1. Okay, now it's initializing it. And after initializing, it's going to partition it to GPT. We're going to have a new partition. You're going to use the maximum size, use the drive letter, and it's going to format it with font NTFS. So if I go back to check with disk management, I need to see disk 5. And this is disk 5, which is letter D. Okay. And that's what we get 1023, whatever. That's the 1 terabyte you have it. So that's basically the how you do a virtual disk. Of course, on the PowerShell, they have some other stuff you can do. I gathered this one here. You can generate some files. Okay. And this is the drive. You select the drive. So what's the drive we have? Drive D, right? So I can generate to create about 100 files. It's basically, it's like a C# command. And this is like a random, you can get random file number. So the only thing I need to select the drive where I'm going to create a bunch of files. So with this one, I want to do an example drive D. So what happened if I go over here and generate that files? So go and run it. So if I go to drive D, I think I'm gonna have 100 files in there. I don't know. Let's see, drive D. That's the files right here, generated like 100 of them. See that? So if you go to drive D, go one step up, go to drive D right here. Yep, this is what we have. It's 1 terabyte, and out of a 1 terabyte, I have the 90, like 100 files in here. And as you can see, one file is like 1 kilobyte. If you click on it right here, see properties, file 89, blah, 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 blah. So just to put some information on that volume. So now if you want to dismount the virtual disk, you can give it this one here. And to get the path, I think you can do this one here. But this is a different one. So I have to put the parameter is different. So this is going to be drive D, is going to be disk. Then I put, what we call that? U data, what, 5? The new data 5. Let's see if that works. So if I do, we call it D, and this is, we call it a disk. I call it disks. And this is data, U data 5, right? I believe so. Let's see. It's the wrong one. So I don't remember the parameters. What we call it? U data file, I believe. Let's see. Maybe we need to smell it too. The virtual disks. We call them disks. Do we call it disks or disk? U data. What are we gonna tell? 5. Well, selected this way, and I can execute it. Yeah, that's not the right one. Let's see, try disk instead of disks. Remember how I called it? I should have wrote it down. Because if you don't have the right information, the command is not going to see it. Let's see. E, is that E? Is it E or D? I don't remember. Oh, it's E, not D. Let's see, E. Sense. Now, is it disk or disks? Disks. So you have to have the right information, otherwise it's not going to work. There we go. Now it's working. So this should work too if we change the, this is E, the right drive. Okay. Yeah, now it's just work. It tells you everything you need to know about that disk. Okay, the size, the cluster size, and all that stuff. So this is some practice of the PowerShell command. So it's very, very, very useful to do that. This is from virtual disk. So let's see if we go to Disk management again. Let's see what we got. So those basically what we have. It looks like a regular drives. You can do whatever you want to do. It has the same characteristic. It's basic, dynamic. You can join them. You can do whatever you want. Now let's go back to the chapter, which talks about this. So now we need to learn how to create a virtual pool. Okay, I mean a storage pool. So the way you do that, you have to go to the dashboard, because everything you do in the dashboard, of course, they have a PowerShell version of it. And you go to File and Storage Services right here. You click on it, and this is basically how it looks like. So if you go to Storage Pool, you have a built-in storage pool. Sorry, dude, I cannot talk right now. Oh, no, what is that? I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so if you go to storage pool, this is basically the available disks that we have. So I think we have one we just created. It's the eVirtual disk. So if I'm going to go and create more, this is all my drives right here. See? So they have the E and you have the rest of them. So if I'm going to go ahead and create more VD, let's see what's happening. So I can go back to my prompt, actually. Right click in here. Oh, it's just right here. It's open. I'm going to create another one. Create a new VHD on E drive. I'm going to call it I'm going to call it to you data 6, because I expected the hard drive is going to be number 6. Okay. I'm going to change the size to 50 gig. And I'm going to mount it. So it's E, this is correct. And this is that I need to match this one with this one. So I'm going to put you data 6. Initialize number. I don't know at this point. Let's do one at a time so we can put the right value. I expect to be number 6, but let's see. Let's do one at a time. So if I run this one here, what's going to happen? Okay, create this one here, which is cool. So if I go to disk management, tell me nothing. Okay, I think the second one's going to tell me. Mount it. Right here. Okay. So let's see. Some disk management here. Okay, so that's 5. Oh, it's 5, not 6. Okay. So we need to go 5, then not 6. So 5 is good. I thought we did 5. Oh, I guess so. So this is 5, not 6. But it's okay. So we can do this one. So over here, I'm going to initialize the disk drive number 5, partition with this, and use dynamic maximum size and all that stuff. So you can do that. Run it. Okay, to check whatever, this is data 5. Make it data 6. And I want to get that disk to see what disk is this. Well, so I can do this. What it says out here. Get VHD, disk data, VHD. Oh, we have to dismount it first. Let's see. Data 6, I believe. Data 6. Okay. It looks like we have the wrong one. Why we have the wrong one? We have it alone right here. So if you go back in here, you go to E. That's E. Disks. I don't have data E. I don't have 6. It's supposed to have user data. I believe it's on a different volume I created. I don't know where we put it. E? Yes. How about D? Nope. I thought we created on this one here. On E. Oh, my fault. It's on here, disks. Virtual disk. So it's on a virtual disk instead of disks. That's sometimes you need to write down. Because I was doing some labs, I kept it virtual disk. So if that's the case, it's either I can write virtual disk here. It's a different folder, basically. Virtual underscore disk. I can copy and paste, actually. The same thing in here. Okay, so my fault. The path was wrong. So we did it on the virtual disks, not disks. Okay. So let's see if we can. Yep, now it's working right here. So if I go right click disk management, supposed to have another one, which is disk 5, which is the 50 gig that we created. So now we have a lot of disks. Back to disk pool, storage pool. You have to go to storage pool, and this is the default. That's what we have, the initial one, and this is all the disks that we have. So now if I'm going to create a new pool, I can go ahead and put a new storage pool. You see that? Refresh. Let me refresh this one here. So you go to new storage pool. You go next. And this is the disk you want. You can give it a name. What name do we need to give it? I think it's pool. Let's call it pool 1. Now, of course, you can put description here, whatever you want, and you go next. And this is the list of the disks that you can collect. You can select to do your poll. And you have a bunch of options here. You can select them all if you want. They're here. Select all. Or if you want, you can select individual disks. This is, of course, they give you the name, the capacity, and the bus. Okay, this is a file backed up, virtual, this that we create earlier. And this is basically SATA, 1 terabyte. Now, this is very important here. You can do automatically or you can do dynamic. Especially automatically, it will be a lot faster. But one of the most important part, you have the hot spare. The hot spare, if you select one, this is going to stay idle. And if something happened to one of your disks, then this one will be added. Okay, so that's what we call hot spare. So let's see. We can select this one, this one, and this one. Okay. And you can go next. And now storage pool location, blah, 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 create. So you can create it. Oh, fail. Why? Could not create storage pool. One or more physical disks are not supported on this. Okay, I can guess what happened. So I think they don't like that. They don't like those virtual disks. Let's see. Let me go back and new storage pool. Go next. Let's do pool 1. Again, go next. So I'm going to select only this, and these. Okay. See if that works. If not, close. Okay, so that took it. So that's my pool right here out of this drive. So if I go to disk management, I should see this one as a massive storage. And that one, how you do that? You say you right click, you go to disk management again, and you're supposed to see it somewhere. Okay, so that's what you see, disk 3. I think it's right here. The online pool. Okay, so this is just the pool. So we need to create the disk. We need to create this, we need to create what do you call the storage. So you go over here and you need to get the storage right here. So you can go either to go to disks, because out of this pool we need to create disk. You're not going to see it in this management. You go over here, new virtual disks. That's what you need to create. Or you can right click right here, or click here, same thing, and get you the same one. So I'll go next here, new virtual disks. It's going to ask you from which pool you want to create it. Well, we only have one pool, which is this one here. You go right here and you go next. And this is what we need to call it. What we need to call it. We can, I don't know what you want to call it. My storage. How about that? Or my disks. All right. My disk. That's enough. Okay, so over here they have Another checkbox, create storage tiers on this virtual disk. What does that mean? Means if your pool that we created earlier, which is pool 1, because remember the original idea is we're going to have a bunch of disks with different speed, like SSD, hard drive with different interfaces, and each interface has different speed. Now, with this, if you check this one, create storage tiers on this virtual disk, it means it's going to put the most accessible information. We're going to put them on the SSD, and the information that we access the least, we're going to put them on a slower hard drive. So the faster the information that we access frequently, we're going to put them on the faster hard disk, and the one we do not access frequently, we're going to put them on the slower drive, and that's what this checkbox for. So at this point, we don't have to worry about it, so we can go next. Now, this is another checkbox. Specify enclosure resiliency. Enclosure means what? Let me see if I have. I'm not good at painting. Let's say paint. Do we have a paint? Yeah, paint. There you go. Paint. Yeah, let's say. Anybody knows how to paint? Oh, this is not a paint. Okay, suppose this is your server right here. And this one is supposed to have attached to a storage. And this storage right here, you have a bunch of disks in there. Okay. Okay, which is, we've seen those. Now pretend those are disks. So what happened? If these guys fail, okay, we lose the whole attachment. So really the best thing to do if you have this scenario to create what? We need to create more right here, more disks. Okay, so this is like a redundancy. Then you can link them. You can link them from here to here. Now, of course, these one has, they have the same thing. They have disks in them. Okay, I'm just, I'm not a good drawer, but this is what's, okay, so now we have some kind of resiliency, because if this one goes down, then my data is not, I'm not going to lose anything. I have some kind of backup. And that's what that basically means. Not save. That's what say enable enclosure awareness. But I don't have enclosure in here, so I don't have to worry about it. Go next. Now, remember we talked about when you create the disk, it's going to be simple, mirror, or parity. Simple means what? If you put, for example, on simple, it's going to explain data is a striped access physical disk, maximum capacity and increase the throughput, but decrease in reliability. That means there's no redundancy. Of course, parity, it will create like what we talked about, like RAID 5 or so. So at this point, I just put simple, okay? And defaulted to mirror, because this is mirror means what? It's like RAID 1. The simple is RAID 0. Mirror is like RAID 1, which is mirror. Parity is what? Like RAID 5. So if this volume, basically you want to install important information on it, so it has, you need to create some kind of fault tolerance. If one of the disks fail, so you have an options. If not, you can do simple. Now, it's really you cannot afford to lose any data, then you go with the parity, which is 5. Well, let's see. Go next. Okay, now it's going to ask me if I need to fix or thin revision. Well, let me go back. And the thin means what? Thin means like a dynamic. Fix means what? Fix basically the volume used space from the storage pool equal to the volume size. Over here, the volume used space from storage pool as needed up the volume size. So let me go back to see something in here. If I put mirror, do I'm going to get the same prompt? Yes. So basically, it depends. Here, you need to make a decision. So I'll make a thin. Basically, I want to pay as I go. If I, it's like a dynamic. It's not fixed. Go next, specify the size. I go terabytes. I can put 2 terabytes if I want to. And you can put maximum size. And now it is created. Total requested size 2 terabyte. Free space, I have 728. Okay, and I'm requesting 2 terabyte, but this is like the maximum. Create it, and boom, 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 boom. Close. So let's see. Do we see that yet on the disk management? It's like 700. There was 700. Volume U. Let's see. Yep, that's 6, which is the 2 terabyte unallocated. You see that? So that's basically that bunch of stuff that we did. When we create the pool, then we create the virtual disk or storage with all this one here, all the 2 terabytes. Okay. Now, what you can do over here, you can slice it, format it, put resilience on it. You can do whatever you do on that storage. Okay. So that's pretty much something to do with the storage. Now, let's see. Let me exit this one here. If you go next, okay, so that's my disk, 2 terabyte. You see disk 6, and you go next. Let's see. Available capacity, minimum size of this, volume size 2 terabyte. Now you're going to go next. You're going to name the drive letter. So since I call it I put M. The following folder. Let's see, next. And this is where to generate shorthand name, whatever. Put this one. Now, if you want to use it for storage, it would be better to use resilience. But if you want to put an operating system and compression and all that stuff, you use NTFS. Let's see if that's gonna work. Now, if I'm gonna create this one to have virtual machines on it, I don't think this is gonna work. So let's see, put NTFS and go next. This is 2 terabytes, the volume N, 2 terabyte, NTFS, and create. Boom, 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 boom. So what do you think so far?
Not too bad.
You guys taking a nap or something?
No, it's not too bad. I think I can get it.
Well, I don't have my coffee yet, so that's too bad for me. So this is done. Okay. Now, if you want, you can create volume out of this. And you can go, for example, to volume. I think you right click on it, or you go to task right here. And you create a new volume. Okay, and let's see. You need to select the drives where you're going to create your volume. But we're not going to do that now. Okay, so no, are you sure you want to cancel the wizard? Yes. So where's that's all the volumes here. That's M. So now if I'm going to create volume, you can select whatever you want and you go to volume. And you create volumes whatever you want. Whatever volume, whatever size, you can partition it. It's the same thing like you go over here to disk management. Now they have the options. Look how many drives now we have. Bunch, huh? So if you go over here, you go down, down, down. This is unallocated. 6, yeah, right here. This is the drive we create out of the pool. Okay. So now you can go over here to GUI. You can do whatever you want. Okay. Now you can automate what we did. We can automate it with PowerShell. So let's see if I have the commands for them. Let's see. I think I store them in one folders, files, server, storage space. I believe it. Right here. I don't think you're gonna see it. Ah. I need to increase the font on it. I didn't see you can see it. Oh, we go. See that better? Ah. See it better? This is basically you. Load too much. Oh, you just put it like that. There we go. So this is basically how you do it, like create pool, new storage pool in PowerShell. Of course, you can Google all this stuff. You can see it. It's all documented. You can see it. I didn't get a chance to test all these commands, but maybe later on when I add more drives to my machine. I found a couple drives I need to add to it. So I found 1 terabyte. Actually, it's Seagate, 1 terabyte. Let's see. Yeah, that'll give us a lot of storage in there. So this is a good one. Any question at this point?
No, sir.
Okay, so we're going to have 2 more topics we need to talk about maybe tomorrow. The iSCSI and SAN, and maybe fiber channel. This is like one topic, so we should finish chapter 5 tomorrow. And when you're gonna take the tests? That's the question.
Wednesday.
Chapter 4 and 5. 4 and 5. 4 and 5 tests. Let's say today we're gonna finish chapter Cisco. We need to chapter 5. Is it 6? I forgot. 6. So by Monday, let's see. We take Cisco's chapter 5 and 6. Is that what we talked about? Monday, Cisco.
Oh, we said tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay. Oh, why I'm thinking today is Friday. Is today Friday?
No, it's Thursday.
No, it's Thursday. Okay, yes. So tomorrow, Cisco, yeah, that's fine. 5 and 6. Then Monday we can take a server. We can take it Monday. Is that you guys gonna be ready for it, or you want to take it Tuesday?
I'm gonna have to make it up.
What is it?
I said I'll have to make it up.
Let's see.
Tuesday would be better, but I'll have to make
Wednesday.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Any objection for Monday?
Yeah, me.
Anybody else?
I think everybody wants to take it on Tuesday.
All right, we'll do it Tuesday then. Sounds good. Tuesday. Look, I see everybody wants it Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday sounds good.
All right, if you say so.
Yeah, I'll have to get with you. I'm gonna need to make that test up.
No problem. We'll do it Tuesday. So Cisco test tomorrow, and Tuesday we do the test for server. Sounds good. Chapter 4 and 5. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here, and I'll see you in a little bit for the Cisco class. We need to do some hands-on about the Ether channel. So I'm going to stop recording right here. Do you have any questions about what we talked about?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll see you in a little bit at 9:25. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll see you then.